All right. We've just kick-started Youth Month. Now, it's Youth Month. The whole month, you will see we're going to do things a little bit different. We allow the whole month of June our young people to have an opportunity. You can tell some of them is the very first time since they've been in this church to come and stand in this pulpit. What a testimony. Oh my. Oh my. What a testimony. What a testimony. We'll talk about that some more. But I am so glad, you know, you touch me. You know why? Because you are a package, you are everything. You did everything here. You told your testimony, you cried, you smiled, Mama Finiela, was you are intelligent. We could just, you are a full package. And you told everybody, you said to young people, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. But I'm glad, my girl. I'm glad you went back to school. And two things I'm glad about, three maybe. I'm glad you went back to school. I'm glad you came back to the house of the Lord. And I'm glad you stayed with your parents. That's all. And thank you, Mama Ken. Thank you, Mama Ken. That even when she went through all of this, you were able to say, go back to church. It's very important. Did you hear her saying that I grew up in church, this is what I know. I can tell you now, the devil is looking for you, young people. He's looking for you. And the best time to hit you is what she said. She said at high school, it's the best time, because then the devil knows you're about to take a leap onto your future, and he doesn't want you to go there. Hallelujah. Well, because we're doing things differently, we're inviting different people to come and speak to us. Well, he's not a stranger in our midst. He's a son of this house. When you see him everywhere out there, you must know he's the son of this house. The MEC for Education in Gauteng is here. I'm waiting standing there. We want to say, our Honorable MEC, you are welcome. He's one of our own. Coming from Tembisa, coming from Gauteng, coming from South Africa, he's one of our own. I was attending one of the events, and three very senior and respectable people and ministers, when they stood up, they all said, individually in their time to talk, they all said, the best MEC in South Africa. We know you're dealing with very difficult situations. We know. One of the best MECs, so quick to respond. This is one MEC, if they say there's problem in that school, if he's not there in the next 15 minutes, he's there in the next hour. If he's not there in the next hour, he's there in the next 3 hours. If he's not there in the next 3 hours, he's there in the next day, because he's serious about what he's doing. A true, authentic and genuine example of Tumamina. A true and genuine example of Tumamina. Well, I had a privilege, because we went to school together. We played together, we were in high school together, and by the way, we were the two most popular guys in the entire house. And we're going to lift a prayer for you, Honorable MEC, before you leave today. Thank you for coming. And by the way, he would come and sit at the back and drink at the tent and all. And one of the things that really touched me is how some of the white people are determined not to change. How they are so determined. We're gonna stay Bure, we're gonna stay African. We don't want any person here. But what touches me is how triple determined you are to say determination against determination. I'm going to fight this. If it means I must go to court, you say I'm going to fight it with my life. Our responsibility is going to lift you up in prayer, that God will continue to be with you. I know you're fighting corrupt SGBs. And thank you for telling them yesterday that you are not governing these schools for yourselves and for your families. You're governing them for us. I want to say thank you. So we have asked him to just have a few words in our midst today. The Honorable MEC for Education in Gauteng, Mr. Panyaza Lesufi. Let's make him feel welcome. 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 Let's make him feel welcome.
The entire leadership of the church, led by a powerful, you may be seated. Oh, thank you so much. Also. Led by a powerful person that have the honor and the privilege to know, Murutu Agasoli Mahlangu. The young people that are here, thank you. They were wonderful, these young people. Thank you so much. Actually, to be quite frank, Muruti, I was touched because, you know, when we're fighting for freedom, we're fighting for something we didn't know. We didn't know. So if you see these young ones here, you are touched to say it was not in vain. Here are people that we want them to have wanted them to have an opportunity. They are now having these opportunities. Honored guests that are here, you might not know this. I was appointed an MEC for education. It was on a Wednesday. On a Thursday, I phoned Muruti Soli Mahlangu to break the news. And then on a Sunday, I was at your church when we were in Tembisa by that time. Actually, I moved with you. I started with you in a classroom in Tembisa High. So, and we moved to Kokopano. And you went to Tembisa. You left me when you came here. And I remember the day you prayed, and you prayed for me. And I said, am I equal to this task? And today I'm coming back here to say one thing to all the words. If it was not you, this task was not going to be possible. People might say whatever they want to say about me. I know it's not me, it's the one that created all of us. Every time when I tackle these problems, when I find difficulty, Soli will tell you, I'm sorry about this. When I face some of these problems, I will call him and we'll say, Panyaza, let's pray. And Fundiswa, I'm coming back to this church to say thank you. I'm coming back to this church that I'm so proud to be associated with, just to say, there are many things that people do, and I know it personally, that you assist so many people. People cry, say, we want this, we want this. What pains me, it's not what I've done to them. What pains me, it's when they fail to come back just to say thank you. No, but that's Tembisa, and I'm not complaining for this one. That's Tembisa. We're talking about a police station, a GP, a KZN, a Cape Town. And in the police station, they allow you to make one phone call. So my phone call is a police station with Bazo Panyaza. They will phone me, somebody that I don't know. They say, "Hey Panyaza, bango pile ngopi, ngeli malepe," and we will e-wallet it. But that person won't come back and say thank you. It hurts me, to be quite frank. So I just came here to say thank you for this one. Not today, you can't believe it for this one. You can't believe it. And it's not, as I said, Panyaza. It's because of this church, and I'm proud of that. I said all our township schools, every black child that is in the township will change the classroom and have every child that is in matric to have a tablet, every teacher to have a laptop, every classroom to have a smart board. I'm standing here that our children are learning more than any other child. And they said it won't happen. They will steal these things. They will break these things. And my answer was very simple. I will never donate the future of our children to criminals. If they steal it, they know that it's going to take them out of criminality, because their own children will be in that classroom, be educated, so that their father cannot steal anymore. For this one, I'm very proud, very, very proud, that we are presiding over an education system. We are presiding over an education system that will make social grants irrelevant. I'm presiding over an education system. I'm presiding over an education system that will make RDP houses irrelevant. I'm presiding over an education system where our children will stand for a queue, not for a social grant, but a queue for a graduation ceremony. That's the future of our life. These children deserve to be amongst the best. These children, remember, these children are no longer competing against children in Cape Town, children in Witbank, children in Mpumalanga. They're competing against children in London. They're competing with children that are in Moscow, in Russia. So for them to compete with those children, they need to be ready. I don't want the child, when he's told about something that is happening up in the sky there, that child must wait for midnight to go out and look for stars and look for the moon and other things. When you speak about volcano, we don't want our children to imagine what is a volcano, because the teacher can't even draw a volcano on a chalkboard. I want these children to go to that smart board, press that smart board, type volcano, and they can see a real volcano, so that they can compete with the best in the world. Thanks, Mfundisi, for referring to the function that I had with SGB yesterday. And I said to them, And I'm saying this to young people in this church. What kind of Gauteng do you want in 30 years' time? What kind of skills we need in 30 years' time? For this, under my leadership, our children are not going to be taught Sehwafa, Sehwafa, Sehwafa. Salempe, Bumpe, Bumpe. Nakaha, Nakaha, Nakaha. Salla, Salla, Salla. Salehwa. We were praising a frog when people were developing tablets. We're praising a frog when people were developing cell phones. We're praising a frog when people were building beautiful cars. We're praising a frog when our own generation was flying aeroplanes. These children must not be subjected to that particular. You know, I dream about this child from Tembisa, Murutwak. This child from Tembisa was going to develop this fridge, this refrigerator, where when you are at work, you are in your car, you are far from home, you are tired, you just send an SMS to this refrigerator. Say, fridge, defrost this meat. Bake these potatoes, add this gravy, so that by the time I arrive at 9:15, my meal must be ready. No one ever thought we can find ourselves in the world of Uber. As we enter this fourth industrial revolution, our children must not be spectators of that revolution. They must be participants of that revolution. BMW here, they're introducing their first driverless car in 2030. You know, a driverless car, I think my child was saying here that there will be beautiful cars outside here. It will be one of those. A driverless car, you just come inside where Maraba start. It takes you to Maraba start. Our children must not be proud to wash that car. Our children must be proud to build that particular car. So I'm saying to young people, it's in your hand. Maybe let me say this. I went to Germany. When I heard that BMW is building the new X3 here in Tshwane, I went to Germany to meet the group CEO of BMW. When I met that gentleman said, "Where do you come from?" I said, "I come from South Africa." I said, "No one has ever approached us." And I said to them, "I know that." And I said, "You can't build the new X3 in South Africa, but you don't have a school of BMW to train people that must build that particular." And I'm proud I invite Mfundi Swami that in 2 months' time, 3 of our schools in Tshwane, we are converting them into schools of BMW, while these children are in grade 8, they're in grade 9, they're in grade 10, they're in grade 11, grade 12. They will be taught how to build a BMW while they're still in class. Just imagine with these opportunities that we didn't have, somebody and then come and choose Nyawube. For this one, here in Kempton Park, there was a school called Rhodesfield. I'm shutting down that school. I'm converting that school, the first in the country, to be the school of aviation. Rhodesfield, if you want to be a pilot, you don't have to pay thousands of dollars. If you want to fly aeroplanes, you can't wish to see aeroplanes landing in your backyard, but you don't know how to fly them. So children of Tembisa, I'm opening that school just for you. You want to know how to build an engine of an aeroplane, you'll do it while you are still grade 8 here in Rootsfield. You want to know how to fly an helicopter, you will fly it while you are still in class here in Rootsfield. The first school of aviation at your doorstep. And I'm saying, we're doing all these things because we love you so much. We want you to be the best. We want you to compete with the best. For this, as I said, when I came to this church to pray, some things that I thought was a dream, it will never happen. I know my first day, when I said to my staff, I want this, they said, no. MEC, it don't happen. There are these problems, there are these challenges, there are these challenges. Today I can announce here, and I've announced it yesterday, that I'm proud, all the great, because this thing of all our children must chase one certificate called matric. If they don't get that certificate, that's the end for them. That thing is wrong. Our children must be multi-certificated towards the matric certificate. They must know how to drive forklifts. They must know how to code. They must know how to understand satellites. But I'm proud, all the grade 11s in all the township schools in Gauteng, by the time they leave grade 11 this year, all of them will know that they've got a K53 driver's license. It's something that they have, free of charge. Free of charge. Actually, for this one, we've done, these are miracles of God, and that is why I'm saying this thing from this podium. We are the only province in the entire country. If you are number 1 in your school in matric, number 2, number 3, in each and every school, if you are number 1, number 2, in your own school, if you're a young person, automatically without applying, we give you a 4-year bursary at the university of your choice. Because you don't play with talent. You don't mess up with talent. If there is that talent, harness it. That is why I was proud when I saw Nomdana Gasobuza and I said, Dana might have done part 2 of grade 11, but if you pass your matric together with 5 of your friends that were strong to you if they're in matric, I'll come here to hand over a bursary for 4 years. Your task is for you to pass matric. I just want to, so your bursary is guaranteed. For this child will come here with a graduation gown in this chair. So the parents must not worry. I just need one thing only, for her to pass matric. For 4 years. A full bursary that accommodates, that gives a transport money, that gives a books, that gives everything. You just have to pass. And I want those that they thought you were not powerful. Yes. Those that thought you were not powerful. Those that strengthened you. Those that are in matric with you, that strengthen you, that you want to walk this life with them. so that you can move together to this future. I want to conclude by saying to our Donabam, matric is a very important stage in our life. Even your own parents, when you reach matric, you'll see that treatment towards you changes, because they know you are at the doorstep of something that will change their life and their lives forever. You know, there are some parents that will sacrifice to have that 2 liter of cold drink so that you can have something to go to school. There are some parents, they will even ignore to be part of some function so that whatever they save, they can give it to you as a child. Please don't disappoint. Please don't disappoint. The main challenge with matric is that you lose your identity. You lose your identity. You become a student number and a certificate. And that certificate is stuck with you for life. You have to go and photocopy it. You have to go and certify it. You have to go and apply with it. You can't carry something that speaks bad about you. You can't carry a document that says, "Law, u fail in maths, law, u fail in English." You can't carry that thing. You must carry a document that must open doors for you. You must carry a document that you are proud that you are carrying that document. You must carry a document that must be in that family's hall and say, "This is who I am." So I'm pleading with you, my beautiful kids and some boys. Don't disappoint your parents. You know, some of us were pulled by people that are here in some of this church, like Wabuma Ben. I shared a prison cell with Wabuma Ben. I was at grade 12 when I was arrested. And when we were scared to go to prison, when we found him in prison, they guided us to be where we are today. Mfunis is right. If you wanted students to gather so that we can discuss politics with them, we'll call Solimasham. Asasamaga TDK, say Kaseta TDK. You will play and make. So I'm saying to you, choose the right friends. Choose people that will share the same dream that you want. Don't choose people that will do things wrong. And I want to conclude with these words, and I hope you'll remember them forever. They say, tears and sweat taste the same. Both tears and sweat taste salty. But with tears, you get a temporary relief. But with sweat, you'll get permanent results. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, MEC. I do know that our MEC, and then thank you so much. I know it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If I call you, pick up my calls and you will return my calls.
It's because I respect your mother-in-law more than another.
My mother-in-law
was my maths teacher, so yes. So and I passed my matric maths.
So she taught both of us.
Yeah.
She taught me, she taught him.
She taught him.
And she taught my wife.
She was my classmate.
And my wife was his classmate. There's one thing I remember with matric, with my mother-in-law, is that when you do maths, because tonight we're doing pure maths.
Yes, not maths is the same.
No, not maths with the same. We're doing pure maths. So she will give us a problem to solve, and we would get to the answer, and we will give the solution. The answer will be right, but the steps will be She will walk into the class, look at the chalkboard, and keep quiet, and look and say, how did this children get it? And I remember one of the things we would say, no, ma'am, I don't think it's important how we got there. Answer key on She would say to us, it's not for the answer right. How did you get here? We need to figure that out so that you know how to solve a problem. Yes. But before you sit down, my MEC, let's sit, all of us, sit down. Before you sit down, our young people are here. It's not an opportunity they can have every day and every time with you. But let's allow at least 2 questions from them to directly ask our MEC. Let me ask the first one to stand on your feet with a microphone. There she is. Please move to the right. Move to the right. Yes. Go ahead.
Amen. Mr. MEC, isn't this going to be because in the aviation, into the city discussing what's been done to aviation? You've answered our question before Sibuza. And then the second question is, in the Africans, like, is it necessary to study the Africans? Because I did Africans, but then okay, I'm not working, I'm doing a learnership. But then I'm doing a learnership.
Before telling Africans, before if they are not 10, not 15, 20, if there are 20 learners here in this change that want learnership or internship,
What must they have?
As long as they need it by us, the number for internship and learnership is ungiven.
They don't have what qualification? What?
I asked them.
No, wait. So when he says it's ungiven, it's not a joke, right?
Yeah.
So what we do, those of you, just go to the help desk, put the name, we'll forward them to the MEC. He keeps his word.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm doing an e-learnership, but then I'm not doing an ex-African, so what's the use of Aba younger than me to do Africans if it's not going to help in future? And then the thing is, I'm doing my learnership at the school. Does the Department of Education do something to monitor equal? Because there was once a day, next. Because the school as Lungiswa, the schools are not monitored, and like, what does the Department of Education do monitor equal? Because some imaliangena every year, but then what has been done?
Okay, let me respond to Africans. People who do bad to you, don't be bad to them. You might not see the importance of Africans, that is why it's no longer compulsory. The only problems that we've made as a department, you say Africans is not compulsory, but you don't make an alternative. So people can't have a choice. They end up doing Africans. But it's one of the languages that we have in this country, and all languages must be treated equally. I believe so. The problem is, when people that speak Africans believe all these schools belong to them and them alone, there I don't agree. All those schools are meant for all our children, and they must be open for all our children. And that's the part that is non-negotiable to me. But I take your point, and that's the reason why now we are trying to introduce other languages in our schools, so that our children must be part of the international world. I know the minister introduced what is language in China, and people were fighting. But the reality is that China is becoming the country that is conquering the world. So if you know that language, it adds an advantage. So we're looking at various languages, but we are right on them. The old schools, good people, it's just unfortunate that we need to eradicate these apartheid schools. And for this, you know, you can go to land test here. I built one school that people didn't believe that school will happen. I said to them when we were doing the budgeting, I'm coming Mama like Tembisa because when I follow Tembisa, no, when Tembisa pay when I Panyaza, but it's simple. When they ask me that, I said no, charity begins at home. When I go down, the people that will throw that for sure will be people of Tembisa. So I must not. So I'm not even apologetic about it. But we're building schools that will be proud to good people. Actually, for this. We are opening a new school every month here in Gauteng, a very beautiful school. There's no school that is less than 100 million that we open every month, so that we can then rectify the things that had happened during apartheid. Some of the school, I'm not bringing my daughter about it. Some of the school, the principal no home phone and MEC Panyaza Lesufi Edcast, that's the beauty of the school that I so the one that we've done for here in Lentest and Bazar, especially middle-aged couples, if your child has various diseases that you really believe can be in a school that can be with other children, we've opened a beautiful school and we put it here in Lentest, just when you exit Eden Vale from Alexander Tembisa. We've put a school there in Lentest. That school was built almost 350 million. You've got everything with learners with autism, learners with disability. You've got everything. You've got professional psychologists. So if you want to take your child there, especially I'm saying middle age, because some of the diseases are just strong in that particular category. Bring that child. It's a boarding school. And there's a mini hotel inside. There's a mini hotel inside, so because the boarding school, you don't have to book a hotel. There is a room strictly for parents with a fridge, microwave, the stove. So and it's not a dream, Mama. It's here in Alexander.
Le fridge I receive my SMS.
So what I'm saying to say, we are removing all the buildings that are wrong. We didn't have a proper budget. Now we got an approval almost 2 weeks ago. All the schools, all these mobile schools, by 2023, all those schools across the province, they will fall because we're building new schools. We've just got a multi-billion investor that has borrowed government money to change those particular schools. If you can't come from an informal house and go to an informal school, it must not be that way. You must have a beautiful school because even during apartheid, even in the community, when there was no water, there will be water at the school. Even when there's no electricity, there will be electricity at the school. When you grew up, schools used to be the beautiful areas to me. We can't under democracy have ample schools, we must have real schools. And that's the reason why we're doing those things. So the problem will be solved.
There's one thing she asked. Why are we still learning Afrikaans? Because 1976, we do it too. And I remember Mr. Shabas sharing why Gandhi, they are still learning Afrikaans?
That's why I said for this, Afrikaans remains one of our languages. The only problem is that we didn't introduce alternative languages. Because equals English, English, even Afrikaans. Instead of Afrikaans, we should either introduce other languages so that our children have a variety of choices to pick up. It's something that we're working at. But that worries me is that the so-called former Model C schools, because they forces them to take Afrikaans instead of an African language. Leo, Mbapete, basisandleni zami. So what
Second question was, who is President Civil Right? Go ahead.
I'd like to ask a question based on my experience. So I am doing second year at MEC And one of the biggest challenges that I experienced, I was from a model school, Footsveld, before I went to tertiary. So the biggest challenges that people from government schools experience in tertiary level is that there is unequal education systems in high school, right? So we have private school learners who have an IEP, I think.
IEP, yes.
IEP, sorry, education system, and we have the NSC, right? And they have more information. They have better equipment. Their subjects have a level 8 or 10, I think, and then we have only up to level 7. So now we find ourselves in a situation where we're in the same classroom at Vince, and the lecturer assumes that we're all on the same level. And us as black people have a lot of catching up to do. So my question rather is, what is the education system, the government education system doing about that? Because it is affecting us in terms of getting bursaries, because right now it's so hard for me to get a bursary because there's someone from IEP that I'm competing with that has greater knowledge, that has a greater spectrum of intelligence or information compared to me with my distinctions from high school, but they're still not good enough.
We have just made. Thank you so much. You know, sometimes when you fight things, you know, when I went to the ANC conference in Nazareth. Same thing. I was the only MEC. Other people didn't see any problem. To say it can't be fair that all our children are going to look for the same jobs in the same market. It can't be fair that all our children must go to the same university. It can't be fair that all our children must apply for the same bursaries, but they've got two different examinations. Examination for the rich and examination for the poor. Examination for the privileged and examination for those that are not privileged. That in this particular country, it's one country, there must be one examination. And when I went to that conference, in December, when I went to the conference to put that, we put that proposal, people said, no, this is not important. We argued, and I'm proud of Danam that the Nazareth conference that elected Ubaba Cyril Ramaphosa adopted a resolution to introduce a new independent examination body that will set one examination for all our children. So that resolution is passed. We are now working on the modalities of it. We are not saying we're lowering standards. We are saying let's write one examination for all our children so that there is equal opportunity for everyone. And all these opportunities must be opportunities that create a better young person for the country. Actually, we are the only, you are quoting IEB, there are other people here of Muslim faith that are writing exams of Muslim countries in South Africa. There are other people that are writing a Turkish examination. So you can't allow that in a country. There must only be one examination for all our children. And we are going towards that direction in Ghana. So I can confirm she's right, and then we're going there so that our children can have this opportunity.
Should have been in that December exit.
But thank you so much.
We want to thank you,
I have to thank you.
Honorable MEC. And before we close the service, we would want to lift a prayer for you.
Thank you.
And then God, but if we appreciate our MEC and allow you to take your seat, and just before I close the service, I will do a prayer for you.
God, and thank you once more, Chair. As I said, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you.
Well, we wanted to allow two. Is it critical? Is it for everyone or for you?
That's for everybody.
Okay, let me use my discretion. Okay, because I was gonna say when we close the service, we could let you ask to the, but ask now. Ask while we're here. Ask.
Okay.
My question is, I did a degree in information technology business systems, and I went on to further my education, did my Microsoft certification. So now I I want an advice from you, or rather what to do. So I get into this company, and black empowerment and black development is not there. She mentioned she's an internship. I'm an intern in this company. And I get placed for the IT department fine, but then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Rather, I'm being sent from various departments to do whatever it is that I need to do. So now somebody, when I find out I'm intrigued, and initially, but they just go on with their lives. That time you have a degree, you have a Microsoft certification or whatever qualification, but you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. There's no empowerment, there's no development in that. Now, CETA is paying various amounts of money for black people to be empowered, but none of that is happening in these companies. Mind you, this is a JSE, this is a company, but nothing is happening. So now I'm using this word intentionally. How then do we expose such companies?
The mic is not working.
Okay. I'm saying, give me that information. We are part of the family of ICT companies that are promoting access, that are also promoting young people to be part of those things. So if you leave your details, is that the information desk? If you leave the information with me, I'll come back to you. And when they said space with my firstborn, actually I'm the firstborn I've just qualified with informatics as well. So he's at home because so we'll find a way of solving it. Thanks for this one. We'll do it. Just give me information.
Tell the MEC I know to ingani yakhe ifuna favor. Uthi I'm a queuing. Ubaba ke wena. I'm a queuing. MEC, we are a progressive church. You had our 5 E's. Exalt God, edify one another, equip the saints, empower each other. And we're serious about the empowerment. So if there's things and we want to appreciate the leadership that you've just offered to us, the bursaries. So 5 children are getting 4-year bursaries, 20 are getting leadership in this church. MEC, this is your home. Any other things you're thinking about, any other ideas, think about us and remember us and let us know. That's why we are called WordPress Christian Center. Center. Thank you for your heart. Very passionate out there to help the people. Thank you. Great things you're doing. A lot of things we can't even tell people that you're involved in and doing. We thank God for you. We pray for you. Let me give you snippets because we can't go home without the word of God. Let me give you snippets, just a little bit for it to carry you for the week. But the entire week will go like this, and let me indicate to you that next week we will have Ronald Lamula. Ronald Lamula is the member of the ANC NEC, but the reason he will be coming is because he just got his second master's. And so it is important that you hear and see. And then a week after that, the 17th, we're trusting God to have Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. Because as a doctor who has a PhD at age 33, a member of parliament, it's critical for you to hear from him the importance of education and where we're going as a country. For me, what's critical about what the MEC is doing is that don't be fooled, black people. Don't be fooled. White people are not rested. They are thinking 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 100 years, and they are thinking how we get it back without fighting. They are thinking about those things. how we make sure our children are well educated, well positioned strategically to run this nation in the next 20, 40, 50, 100 years. And it will be critical for us to do that which is right. Psalms 23, let me give you snippets and let's go home. Psalm 23, just if you give me just a few minutes, Psalm 23. If you found Psalm 23, I'm gonna skip on a lot of things and just give you snippets. If you found Psalm 23, let us all read Psalm 23. That's good. If you start, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still water. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yes, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. You know, I was in Nigeria last week, and one of the things, we were in church, they had a pastors and leaders conference Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And what surprised me is that on Sunday, the church service started at 9 a.m. And they said people started coming in at 6 a.m. And there were over 20,000 people in that meeting. And we started at 9. The pastor started to preach just after 1, like 1:30. When we took Lefefe to go home, it was just after 7 in the evening. And we were in the service the entire day. And I'm not talking about session 1 and then break, go out, session 2. No, when we walked into that service, we walked in past 9 in the morning. When we walked in, we walked out of that building past 7 in the evening. And I looked at that and I thought to myself, are we lazy? Are we not appreciating God? Or we are... I asked myself, to say, but why are we so wanting to rush on things that are making our lives better, on things? I tell you, I came out of that service, I was highly empowered. Not just by the word, everything. The worship, the word, the presence of God in that place. It empowered me. I felt stronger that I could do things. So I'm not going to go until 7, but I'll try just a few minutes. This is a Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd. He wrote it out of his personal experiences. If you give me your attention, I'll be quick. He wrote it out of his personal experiences here on earth. Because God must be understood in context of our lives. God begins as a God of the Bible, but he has to come out of the Bible and walk with us on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in South Africa, in Joburg, in Gauteng, in Tembisa. He has to be that kind of a God. If he just remains in the Bible, he's not good enough. You want him to come out of here and be with you in your everyday life. So David was explaining to us his experience with God. And this is not for the dead. He wrote it when he was still alive. He wrote it for the living. So the Psalm 23 is not a psalm for the dead. It is the psalm for the living. That's why when he closes the psalm, he says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. It's for the living. We have decided in my family, you should do it too. I recommend it, to make this your morning first thing that you do. When you wake up in the morning, Lord, you are my shepherd, I shall not want. You make me to lie down in green pastures. You lead me beside the still waters. You restore my soul. You lead me in the path of righteousness for your name's sake, even though I walk through the valley. You need to do that every morning, because when you do that, you invoke God at different levels and different spheres, and you set up your day. And I have been teaching about all of this, the Psalm of David, and we've only dealt with the Lord. What does it mean to say the Lord? And then we dealt with, is my shepherd. What does it mean to have a shepherd and to have the shepherd as the Lord? We've also dealt with, what does it mean to say, I shall not want? And also we dealt with the fact that he makes me to lie down in greener pastures. And that's where we were saying God positions us in a particular position, and he makes us to lie down in greener pastures. Where I had stopped a week, when the last time I stopped talking about this, I was telling you that our God never runs out of anything. His green pastures are never exhausted. If you make God your source, he will resource you any time of your life when you run out. There was a man by the name of Mordecai in the Bible, in the book of Esther. He said to Esther, Esther, you are now married to the king, and there is a plan to kill all the Jews. And he said to Esther, Esther, do something about it. Talk to the king for us, so that there could be help that comes on our way. But Mordecai gives us the best way to understand God, because Mordecai closes that by saying to Esther, Esther, listen here. If you don't do anything about it, just know that help will come from somewhere. And that's the attitude you need to have about your God. That's the attitude that moves God. To say, my brother, help me here because you are connected. But let that person know, if you don't help me, you must know help will come from somewhere. That is why David says, I look up to the hills, because on the hills there's my help. That has nothing to do with connections. That has nothing to do with finances. That has nothing to do with strategic positioning. It's a direct help that comes from the Lord. And our God will resource you anytime you run out of sources, as long as you make him your source. So we saw that God, when the last time we talked about, we saw Abraham and Lot in Genesis, they had to separate, and we saw that God, Abraham said to Lot, choose where you're going to go. Lot looked at the greener pastures and he chose that, and God said to Abraham, now that Lot is gone, now that Lot is gone, look to the east, the south, the west, and the north around you. Everything that you see, I'm giving to you. And I had said to you that those green pastures were there, but Abraham did not see them. And the thing that made Abraham not to see them was because there was Lot here. Because certain people are in your life to blind you, not to see your future. Certain people are in your life to blind your life so that you don't see your future. But I also like what Abraham did to his son Isaac. In Genesis 25 verse 5, the Bible says that Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac. But Abraham gave gifts to the sons of the concubines which Abraham had. And then the Bible says, and while Abraham was still living and alive, the Bible says he sent them away from Isaac his son. He was doing the same thing to say, I don't want these people to hinder your destination. Because Abraham, as a good father, he wanted to make sure that there are no people around Isaac that make sure that Isaac does not achieve what he's supposed to achieve. May the God of Abraham show you your greener pastures, and may he show you right from where you are. You don't need to go there to succeed. It's like the myth we grew up with, where people say, "Eish, Mangai America, I'll make it." It's a myth. It's a myth. I got to America and I found people living under the bridge, on the streets, struggling and suffering, because God does not want you to go there. He wants you to look up and say, the Lord is my shepherd. He never runs out of of resources. Jesus puts it this way in Matthew chapter 6. Verse 25, he says, I say to you, do not worry about do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the earth, for they neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? Which of you by worrying can add 1 cubit to his stature? So why do you worry about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, and yet I say to you that even Solomon in all of his glory, he was not arrayed like one of these. Now if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is thrown into oven, will he not much more clothe you? And then he says, oh, you of little faith. And then he says in 31, therefore do not worry, saying, what shall I eat? What shall we drink? What shall we wear? For after all these things, your Father, your heavenly Father knows that you need all these things. The book of Lamentations 3 verse 22 says, the steadfast love of the Lord, it never ceases, it never ends. It says, his mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. God gives us fresh stuff every morning, and they are new every morning. He said to the children of Israel, as they journeyed from Egypt to Canaan, he said, I will feed you every day. I will send manna from heaven, but you can only take enough for the day. I can hear Jesus say, when you pray, say, give us this day our daily bread. God was saying, because I am God, I never run out. I have enough for you for today, for tomorrow, for next week, for next month, for next year, for the rest of your life, for your children, for their children, and for generations to come. He is saying, I am God. I have fed your grandmother. I have fed your great-grandfather. I have fed all of your father's house. Who do you think you are? Do you think you are not that important for me that I can take care of you? God will take care of us. In fact, and I want you to hear me well, so that you don't take me wrong and take me out of context when you leave here. In fact, savings are good, but savings were not God's idea. God's original idea was not for us to have savings for the bad day or the bad days. God's original idea was for us to have enough every day and have more than enough every day. By the way, Adam did not worry about tomorrow in the Garden of Eden. You know why? Because every day God took care of him. Every day. He's not a God who is good today, who is bad tomorrow. Our God is a more than enough God. The Bible says he does exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or even think. He's a Father who cares. The Bible says he makes me to lie down in green pastures. This is very important. But the Bible does not say he makes us to eat in green pastures. It's not saying that. It's saying he makes us to lie down in green pastures. In other words, he puts us in the right places, in the right offices, in the right opportunities, in the right positioning. But it is our responsibility as to what we do with the greener pastures. It is your responsibility what you do with the opportunities that God presents to you. You must be willing and obedient to take advantage of every opportunity that the Lord is going to present to you. Let me give you an idea. Tina, we just invited the MEC just to talk to us about what's happening in education and the importance of it. Look at what the MEC does. He comes here. We never knew about this. Nobody knew about it. All that the MEC does, he presents 5 bursaries for our children. That is an opportunity we must never play with. These are greener pastures that the Lord has brought into our presence. When the Lord has brought it here, we must take advantage of it. So he puts us in opportunities But we must take advantage of those opportunities. And I want to say to you, this year in 2018, we've just begun half year of the year. You are going to find yourself in the midst of great opportunities. You are going to find yourself amongst great people, amongst greatness. And I am telling you now, the greatest tragedy will be for you to find yourself in greener pastures, in great opportunities, and do nothing about it. And then try to tell everybody that you were in greener pastures. Hey, Joe, hey, what have you done about it? Nothing. You are stupid. Stupidity is for a sheep to be brought to greener pastures, and the sheep starts dancing in the greener pastures, and then goes and tells everybody, I was in the greener pastures, greener pastures, greener pastures. All right, Mr. Sheep, did you eat? Have you seen a person who says, I was in greener pastures, and you are all in awe? And then I'm to really DJ. Hey Baba. Hey Baba. Utibo upe. Ulambile. Marabo upe. Stupidity. And my responsibility is to provoke you to realize the opportunities in your presence, to have your eyes open, because there's opportunities in your company, there's opportunities in your businesses, there's opportunities on the street. Listen to what the MEC says. The MEC says, I dream of a child out of Tembisa to create a fridge. Me, if I was you, I start on the design. Me, if I was you, I start now. I go, I want this fridge must be like this, and like that. And we must take advantage of the opportunities. Let me show you something quickly in the Bible. Open 2 Kings. Open 2 Kings. Quickly, 2 Kings. I just want to show you something. 2 Kings, and then I close. 2 Kings chapter 7. 2 Kings chapter 7. 2 Kings chapter 7. You leave the greener pasture as it is. You go and tell others, come, let us go and eat. Before you take your second spoon, don't just be happy that you are in green pastures, because the shepherd has gone to find green pastures and bring you to them. Take advantage of them. In 2018, take advantage of every opportunity that God is presenting to you. If it's the Lord that has brought you there, listen to this. If it's the Lord that has brought you there, don't be afraid to eat in your greener pastures. Don't feel guilty about your greener pastures. Don't let nobody make you feel like you are being unthoughtful. You have no compassion. You are not thinking for others when you are actually enjoying your greener pastures. You know, I've seen people waste their lives and enjoying their lives prematurely. And when you were dedicated and focused, now you are in your greener pastures. You are enjoying life. They make you feel guilty. And families are guilty of this. Moses, how are you going to help Israel before you go to the mountain? You must first go to the mountain so that you are in a better place. Then come down and help them. You must first be in a better place, and then you can help others. Black people, black nation, let us not pull each other down just as we try to be better. When one of us becomes better, let's rejoice. minister, to be able to speak to Pharaoh and say, can my family come, and gave them a better place. You can't even enjoy a better king from this Mukutlas. You can't even enjoy it. Because if you go and buy a beggar king, if you go and buy a beggar king, they are the first ones, the family, to tell you. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? You are now 35 years old, right? Here's the funny part. For the last 35 years, there was no issue. Because that's where we were. Net ngoba namhlanje ngilibheka king ukusheba ngomroho sekuyi-issue. Beningeke nivume net ngi-enjoy le Burger King ngoba i-amount yokuthenga le Burger King will not be enough ukuthenga isishebo sethu. So why ningirayizele i-issue yomroho kanti mara sikhule ngawo lo mroho? Why nirayisa namhlanje? We want to pull each other. Gandhi, the way to do it, asimvumele all one way to athi shoo. So that nakathi shoo, nakalapha azokwazi ukusikhulumela. Athi nakatuthi sithi buya. Ngoba abantu abaphansi bathanda ukudonselana phansi because they don't know anything else other than ukuba phansi. Let me say that again. Close quotes. Abantu abaphansi bayathanda ukudonselana phansi because they don't know anything else but ukuba phansi. When they see omunye asuka phansi athi uyaphakama, what they want to do, they say, what you are doing is not normal. Sihlala phansi thina la. It's the same thing your family does. If family yakho ijwayele ukuthi thina sila. That's why no drive my aeroplane. My daughter tells me all the time, Wasant, Daddy, mina drive my aeroplane. And then Jongoba travel so in the near future. So I'll pack my jet, you'll just tell me where you want to go. If you say I want to go to London, I'll tell you, okay, Daddy, we have time so and so. Then I'll bring you and then I'll drive you, I'll take you to London. You know what I do? I never says no. I say Yamdana. And then when I now drive alapho, it private mina mzobenhleli ngoba private jet yakongizolala ngize lapho ngasenyanga hey man, I'm taking a nap, don't worry about me. At yeah, and then Daddy, I'll play your music, I'll play nice music, I'll play your songs, your recording, so that you sleep nice. I'll play a nice worship as I'm taking you to London. Marekagin. Now I'm done in Zani. Umtwana wenzani uya shona ukewa bona bani la okay asiyeke ukudrive ama-aeroplane asiyeke ukuyoyigibela nje net ukwenzani ubone bani la kulendlu ayoyigibela. The devil is a liar. Noma ngaba akekho ke wayigibela, noma ngaba akekho ke wayokhapha umuntu e-airport ayoyigibela, noma ngaba akekho ke wabona i-aeroplane, the devil will not have the last word. You will be the first one. Uzoye e-airport, uzongena e-airport, uzogibela phakathi kwe-aeroplane. You will go to another country because the Lord is my shepherd. If you believe it, shout yes. I'm one of those people. I believe I will be the first one. When I look back in my family, if I can't find anybody who has done it before, I say, good shot. I don't have a reference, so I don't have nobody to tell me it's not doable. I am looking forward to do great things, and so are you. You are going to do great things. You will achieve great things. It's got nothing to do with the fact that you come from poverty. Shout yes! We will drive the
cars. When we wash them, we will be washing my own car for myself. I will not be looking for a funding from government to build me a washing bay for washing the cars and giving me the machines to wash them. No, I'll be washing my own car just for the joy of it. We will, and thank you, we will build those cars. We will be a better nation. I told you before, I'm declaring it again. There is no nation in this world that is better and greater than South Africa. I'm telling you now, we are the most strategic country in the world. We are the most best country in the world. You say to me, why? Because even during apartheid, development was going on. When development was going on, they did not know that this day was going to come. Now today, we will take this development, we make things even better. We are so strategic that the whole world is coming to us. The entire world is here in South Africa. You know why? This is the best country. We just need to deal with our issues. Bring up everybody else. Deal with poverty. Deal with illiteracy. Deal with izindlu zemikuku. Deal with, and let's bring the entire nation. Bring jobs. Because we are a better nation. I'm looking at the people who are looking glorious. You see, let me tell you. What the devil does, he wants you to look at where you are, and where you are will cut off what I'm saying to say there's a greater future for you. It's a glorious future for you. Begin to embrace it. Begin to hold it together. Begin to say, that's my portion. Let me tell you, if there's anything in this world that nobody has done, you are better positioned to begin to do that. And I can tell you today, as I'm looking at you, there is such greatness in your mind that God wants you to be great. And the Bible says, He leads me besides the still waters. Watch this. He is the one who's doing the leading. But He leads me besides. He leads me. He leads me. He leads me. Stay there. The Lord leads me besides the still water. Even when I didn't know this still water, still means peace. Water represents life, peaceful life. He leads me to be right by it. When I am here, there are many obstacles in between, such that I don't see that still water. But the Lord leads me. The eventuality of where He is leading me is so that eventually I find myself besides the still waters. Can I declare to you that the Lord is about to lead you towards the still water? He's about to lead you towards a peaceful life. Did you know that a peaceful life is a normal life with God? There are people who don't know peace. There are people who can't finish a month without peace. There are people who can't finish a day with but they just, and I wish every family now until I feel this person is the lover of Rao. See, as a company, kunomuntu ilanga langashona angakhosanga umsindo ubona ngathi kunento wrong. Yasikhona lo muntu efamily uthi nakafika nanibona imoto yakhe ingena niyatshelana nangisekafike nangumalume nangu baba omncane u-anti nangu-anti ufikile ubona nabekade bayincebeleke bathi he u-anti nayo imoto yakhe ngiyambona uyafika ngaphandle nayo u-anti ubold uyazazi ukuthi wafika yena kufika ingakani wafika yena kumele kuphela ipeace kule ndlu wafika yena kumele kube nerawurawu. I prophesy over your life. You've had too much raw in the past. God is leading you to peace. God is leading you to a peaceful life. God is leading you to a peaceful future. God is leading, and he says, besides, right next to, which means you're going to find yourself sitting right next to the MEC. You're going to find yourself sitting right next to greatness. You're going to find yourself sitting right. I was in Nigeria last week, and this man who invited me, he's a great man. He's a big man in Nigeria. He's on television all over the world. He's big man. So I got there. They received me in the cars. They picked us up with 2 cars. We were 4 in the cars. They picked us with 2. I was sitting in 2 cars, back seat, and the other car, 2 of us, back seat. In front is the driver and a policeman with a long gun. I don't know what they call that gun. I said to myself, these people have come to pick me with the police and a gun. And then we go to the hotel, then they take us to the church. When we get to the church, there's pastors from all over the world that have traveled to this ministers' conference. And we get there, outside when we get there, there's probably maybe 6-7 people, 6-7 men waiting for us, waiting for this car. And when I get there, I come out, there's one man who's in charge. He says, thank you, sir, for coming. Please follow me. I go, we follow, there's people around me, we're going, and they lead. I'm leading, I'm going. I don't know where I'm going. They lead. We get into the service, 20,000 people, packed. He leads me into a chair. Now, the man of God sits here. It's a special chair. His chair is white. All other chairs are black. His is white. That's his chair. They lead me, they take me, they put me right next to his chair. Wafika endaweni bakubeke ubhenga phela ngapho ufuna ukuthi ngathi nenze iphupho ngathi nisho ngokunye asicelela abene right ngapha he placed me next. He comes when he walks in with his men and all of them, and the entire church stands up. Ooh, I learned something in Nigeria. When the man of God shows up in the door, the entire church stands up. I wait. And when the man shows up there, when the man shows up, the entire church stands up because the man of God is showing up, not lie with me. So I come. He gets there. When he gets there, all of them around him, they honor him, they worship him. When they never talk to him like this. They call him Papa. No matter the student, Papa. He gets there. They put me next to him. He gets there, he stretches his arm, he comes to me, I stand up, we holding each other, we talk, we laughing, and we're making a joke. The entire church is looking. So the entire church says, That must be a very important man. He's laughing with Papa like that. He's standing with Papa like that. He makes me, he leads me besides. I found myself sitting next to a great Papa. Can I give you my CV a little bit? I'm sitting next to Papa in Nigeria, a big country, in a big conference room. Where I was born, same dad. Forum house. There was 12 of us in the forum. Besidla mautwan, nomroch, namatumba, neingingila, sishale ara station, si khwapa. Si temaskula sidi a ebhenci, ebhenci. Mangkhula, me. Umalume wami bekagula ngekhanda. When they took me to school, nazi msukile. Bekathatha iwashing i-uniform yami yesikole. Beyinikiwe. Amthathe. Ayifake ayilahlele phansi athathe imetshisi. Ayitshise. That's my background, where I come from. I grew up with no father. I grew up in poverty. I grew up in all odds against me. But look at me today. 2018, he leads me. Besides, I'm sitting next to a great Baba. I want to say to this Baba, if you knew where I come from, if you knew Mtanze Kaya, you probably would not be allowing them to let me sit next to you. But you see, when the Lord leads you, he will do the unthinkable. He will do the unforeseen. He will do those things that nobody ever imagined that they can happen in your life. That is your portion. There are things that are going to happen in your life that nobody has seen before, that nobody has tasted before, that nobody has had an opportunity before. Why? Because he leads me besides the still water. If you believe it, shout for joy. If you believe it, shout for joy. Because God is taking you. God is taking you. God is taking you. God is taking you. Everything begins in the spiritual, in the spirit realm. And in the spirit, God is lifting you. And when you begin to see opportunities, it's because God is lifting you. None of us knew. This child did not know. She was coming to do a testimony, just to do a youth program. She had no clue. If anybody told her this morning that your things are sorted, she would not have believed. But that's the God that I'm talking about. Nobody in her family has ever achieved it. She will be the first one. You know why? Because the Lord is leading us. I speak into your life. May you rise to levels that were never seen. May you rise to levels that were never prophesied. May you rise to levels that your parents did not achieve. May you rise to levels that no one in your street ever achieved. May you rise to levels that even in your classroom you become your best. In the name of Jesus. May you rise in your company, be the best. May you rise in your business and be the best. May you rise in your community and be the best. May you rise in your career and be the best. Why? Because the Lord is your shepherd and he makes you. Allow him to make you in Jesus' name. Amen and amen. closed. You are here, you say, I don't know Jesus, pray for me, Pastor Masam. I want to be born again. I don't have anything to give you, but to give you Jesus. I present Jesus to you. How do I get born again for this matter? Well, you believe in your heart, you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord. And then you are born again. If you are here in this house, you say this is Youth Month, I want Jesus. Our Honorable MEC, thank you so much. What we want to do, we would like to ask you to just stand. No, not stand. Sit the way you're sitting. And all of us are going to stand. We're going to speak a blessing over you. And I'm glad that you acknowledge that it is God. And Bazalwane, he's not joking. When the news were told to him that you are now being appointed the MEC, when he was told, before anybody knew, he called me. He called me and he said, I've just been appointed to the MEC for education. And if there's anything I need first, is prayer. Pray for me. And he came on church on Sunday and I prayed for him. So we have to believe God as a country for more like him. The leaders who are not corrupt, leaders who are for the people. He has a dream he's shared with me for ages. And he always shares this dream with me. Says, Mfundisi, I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. I don't need to share your dream. It's your dream. But he says, I have a dream where I can build a center where all the people can come for all different kinds of problems and challenges. And in that one center, they can go home being helped. Whether it's food, they can find something to eat. Whether they're struggling with their challenges, wherever, something to eat. We really thank God for you. We really thank God for you. You amaze me. You amaze me. The part you kunenkinga eBromore Spruit ngo-11 o'clock, ngo-12 souls eBromore Spruit. That part amazes me. That you will stop everything. You will stop meetings and say the children have a problem there. The teachers have a problem. Thank you so much. We thank God for you. And I can prophesy to you. I know when it happens, you'll call me first. That you are not going to end up as just the MEC. You're going to heights that you have not imagined. Heights you've not imagined. There are things God is raising you up to levels that your peers and your friends that you grew up with, they will look at you and marvel. Say, how did this happen? And there are positions and levels I see that are coming your way. I don't want to just say it. I'll tell you when we're two. But there is a strategic position that God is taking you, which is higher than the MEC from where you are, and God is taking you there. And I will tell you what I see when we're together. And when God raises you, remember God all the time. Thank you. Please sit. Everybody stand. I know, Bazalwane, I can share this because it's important. You know, he was once involved in a situation where a company, business people, because they wanted a deal, something with the government, and they offered him money. And I happen to know because he told those people, he said, I he rejected and reversed that envelope. And he said, I cannot do this. This is why your future is greater. This is why your future is greater. Because Lava Matata envelope, one of the things they don't know, they are short-circuiting their life and their future. And I happen to know about it. And you told me, you said, for this one, my heart, I would not be able to sleep if I would do that. Let's praise our, let's point our hands at him and let us say this prayer. Yizwa Baba, Yizwa imithandazo yethu, Nkosi, sigelela, thina, lusapho Yizwa Baba, Yizwa. That's our prayer. Thandazo Yesu, Nkosi, sigelela, thina, lusapho makube njalo, and may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit rest and abide in us now and forevermore. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. I know, Barcelona, that many of you will want to shake his hand and touch him. But is it okay if I ask that? Let's just allow the young people. He's a people's person. He is an easy man. Can we allow the young people to be the ones that shake his hand? And while you shake his hand, tell him, thank you for doing what you're doing for us. Please, Russian.
Madonna, yeah, let's move to the left, Madonna, please, quickly, just 5 minutes meeting. Madonna, Madonna, this side, please. Madonna, not the youth, Madonna,
where?
You want the picture of my son?
Hey,
That's my son.
Oh yeah! So true. I know, yes. They always aviation. Yeah, yes, Who is the pen? Check up. Give me the list of everyone that
So we apologize. Well, yes, I must send it out to you. Okay. Okay? Are you sure? Yeah. Let me sort it out by the end of the day. That's me. I will just send it. I will send it.